Hey everyone, this is JR for TopBrokers360, and this is our new section, the week ahead, and I will go over some ideas. Remember, no financial advice, but just where I think you may want to pay attention as a trader and investor, all right? So remember, please visit TopBroker360 because otherwise we won't get any traction, and we want to produce more of these videos for you guys because you guys deserve the best of the best insight when it comes to the financial markets. We start with Bitcoin. I think like the great sign, independently of how people are linking events that happened during the weekend, of course, very sad events, but we're going to stay neutral and focus on the markets. What we see is a price reaction that is totally bullish. Overall, there were a lot of questions about the continuity of the strength of this asset class. And pretty much we have to say that at some point it went all the way up 90% in the first 90 days of the year 2024, which was stellar performance, even against a very strong asset or stock like NVDA. Now, of course, when you have a lot of strength, you have to recall why you want to still pay attention to the asset class. You have just to go back to the basic of physics and you study Newton's first law of motion, which is the law of inertia. It's rare, okay, remember that it's rare for asset classes that have gained certain amount of return throughout the year to kind of lose steam out of nowhere. That doesn't happen. If you study a little bit, of course, if you study seasonality when it comes to Bitcoin, it tends to be a combination of factors where you have June as a very neutral, pretty much nowhere to go month, and then July and August, they tend to be very strong in the seasonality of Bitcoin. Will that repeat? Well, we'll see how it goes, but there's some evidence that you want to pay attention to proxies that are linked to Bitcoin. You may want to talk about the Marathon Digital Holdings, ticker symbol MARA. You want to pay attention to Riot Platforms, RIOT, and of course, CleanSpark, CLSK. So there's a few names that you can pay attention. I'm just mentioning those because I want to have enough space during the video to share specifics that we want to go over and over again. Of course, there's a company that is also receiving some momentum pre-market. That company will be Trump Media Technology. Although I mentioned that we want to stay neutral, we cannot say no to where we see activity pre-market. And that activity indicates that there's a bullish momentum taking place. You want to take a look at this company, you want to take a look at the 50, and then of course you want to take a look at the $80 level. Those levels will be key for you to pay attention as far as profit taking if you already are in the position. If you're not in the position, you also want to be aware of the level 25 to the downside as your potential technical level to exit. Always be aware that the stocks, asset classes will go up and also they will go down. All you have to do, it doesn't matter the event. It doesn't matter the event. You always, week after week, you have to manage risk. That's why you're here. You're a risk manager. How good you are managing your risk from one position to another, it doesn't matter the asset class, will determine your financial success. That's about it. Risk management. Now, of course, we won't have a first week ahead video without talking about la creme de la creme of the events right now, which against what people are thinking in different social media is not just events on the political landscape. It's actually finally here, the big rotation, all right? So this is something that we want to pay full attention this week, and potentially the next week we'll continue discussing where else you can find value, where else this rotation taking place. The first rotation for this week, where we definitely know investors have been kind of waiting for more than a year, pretty much 2023, and the first half of pretty much 2024 is IWM. But before I jump to this, let me remind you that Top Brokers wants to become your prime site for you to visit, look for better tools, look for better data, because once you get your hands on better data, better analysis, insights, they will help you to potentially get to what you want. And what we all want, me, you, your friends, We want better trading and better investing results. So for that, I want you to consider to visit at the beginning of the week, TopBrokers360. And of course, remember, we'll come back by the end of the week with the weekly economic outlook. So make sure to visit TopBrokers360. Better data, better tools, better results. Okay, so now that I have a little bit of your attention, because we are going to discuss rotation. Now, I do this because it's that what people have been waiting for. People have been waiting for the big rotation into the buzzword of the first half of 2024 on CNBC, small caps. Every single stock commentator was like, so where are you looking at? Small caps. They hate China, of course. The many hate China. So you know that at some point, the law of contrarian effects will just kick in and China will go up and then people will just chase. That's what people do all the time. You don't want to be like them. Okay, so don't hate the market. Maybe don't hate anyone. Peace. Okay? So IWM, what do we want to do here? First off, I want to bring your attention to the year to date. In the first 6 months of the year, IWM, we're studying, this is the ETF that I like to choose, that I like to share with you guys. iShares Russell 2000 ETF. This is a ETF where pretty much there are 2,000 names, all right? And if you apply the Pareto's law, we know that 80% of those names they're not doing well, but it is what it is. But I want you to pay attention to the bottom panel and see that the year to date now is positive. And again, if you go back to just study a little bit of physics, more than, Fibonacci, trend lines, just the basic of the dynamics of motion, Newton's first law of motion, law of inertia, indicates that once the body, okay, or you can think about the asset, start moving in one direction, something has to happen to change that direction. But the question is why the whole thing started. So on the week ahead, something that you want to pay attention is the changing in the percentage of probability based on the CME Fed Watch about the rate cuts probability in September. Now, we know that July, that's out of the table, not going to happen. If it happens, great. I wouldn't count with it because any surprise out of the way the Federal Reserve is communicating might affect the market. It will indicate that something is off, something is not really working, and something cracked, or the basic, something is broken, okay? And then that will scare the market. But if everything goes well, July will be the communication, very similar to the Bank of Japan, that rate cuts are coming, they are on the table, and they will happen. So the market will assess that communication. And remember, the market doesn't like uncertainty. Always remember that. Now, if we go to study what's happening here, I want to bring you the chart of the IWM with dynamic Fibonacci levels. Also pay attention to the bottom panel. We have the ultimate RSI, and really it's the ultimate. Now, I'm on the daily chart, so pre-market we have another jump, so there's a follow-through, pretty much like the legendary William O'Neill. You don't want to have a positive day, you want to have follow-through. It means that you have one day energy, surprise everyone, then the next day happens, and then, of course, now once again, against the sad events of the weekend, you still have that energy. So that's positive, and that's pretty bullish. I will say that don't be surprised if this week we have to the upside, we have a 218 level, but then remember where we started. Don't be surprised as well if we have a pullbacks when we're in bull market, which now effectively we are in small caps. You want to pay attention because pullbacks potentially, based on your levels and your analysis, they can be great entries for you to continue riding that trend up. But always remember 210. If we have a breakdown under 210, close and open under 210, I will be curious about my position and I will execute risk management, probably exiting my entire position. Now, if you look at the weekly, in that case, pay attention that we have a lot of fresh air and blue skies. And all the way we can push to 230. Now, because this is a weekly chart, and if you look at the bottom panel with the ultimate RSI, I will say that this will probably take another 2-3 weeks to, if it's going to happen, then you know that there's going to be some resistance at 217, between 218. But then again, I will be a buyer if everything goes well and my analysis doesn't change. Then I will actually be a buyer again at 212, 210. All right, just remember, keep an eye also on your downside levels. And finally, if I look at the monthly chart, I sort of have the same idea, and I would like to give you a sense that this rotation, it's not even happening yet. I mean, we have the first, what I will say, the first innings, or Don Ives will say when he's talking about artificial intelligence. Don Ives, one of the greatest, one of the best in New York when it comes to going over Tesla and discussing the artificial intelligence stocks. It's 9 p.m. The party just started, but I would like to tell you that in this rotation, guess what? It's not even 9 p.m. I think it's like 7 p.m. and you're the first one showing up. Okay? So pretty much lots of room, and once we break the area, we might shop around 235 to the upside. And then again, lots of fresh air and blue skies all the way to 287. Now, please don't quote JR. Just quote me. And I will say that, yeah, the sky is the limit. But rest assured, to the downside, I will be cautious in the big time frame, on the monthly time frame. Everything is real. Everything is, it's pretty much expect the unexpected of the market. Always count 210 to the downside as your level. If that happens, we can fast move all the way down to 201. And still there, I will have to reevaluate my position. All right? So this is what I have for you guys today, this week. Thanks. As I do this more, I will, I feel more comfortable sharing this information with you guys. I think you're going to appreciate this week ahead. So for that, I want to thank you all for visiting TopBrokers360. If you can do me a favor, if you can help me out, if you like this video, please give us a click, give us a thumbs up, probably share a few words. Tell us what you think. Tell us what stocks are you looking this week ahead, and we will be happy to share, probably start a new segment, a new video where we'll discuss what you guys, the audience, women and men that are looking to actually, make a little bit of money in the stock market, want to know, want to learn. We're here for you. Remember, TopBrokers360, better data, better tools, better results. Until our video on Thursday, remember, I see you soon, guys. Ciao, ciao.